Hey guys, this is Mrs. Harbin, and this is section 2.2 of Algebra 1. We're going to continue to look at algebraic expressions in this section. Our biblical integration is this. God allows us to have challenges in life, but He also equips us to face them. Becoming familiar with useful terms is like putting on armor to face algebraic problems. You can't go into a problem only knowing half of the information. So we're going to make sure you know the basic and necessary vocabulary and terminology to figure out these problems. Our lesson objective for today is this. You, the student, will evaluate an algebraic expression with given variable values. Now, if you remember, evaluating an expression just means plug in the number that you know wherever there's a variable and simplify by combining like terms, also known as plug and chug. So the first thing that you're going to do whenever you're solving problems is write the original equation or expression. Remember, an equation has an equal sign, an expression does not have an equal sign. Remember that. An equation is taking two expressions and saying that they are equal. So write the original equation or expression. Substitute the given values for the variables. Remember that whenever we substitute, we're always going to use parentheses. And then evaluate by following the order of operations, which we learned last chapter was G, E, M, D, A, S. G stands for grouping symbols, E for exponents. We'll do multiplication and division at the same time from left to right, and addition and subtraction at the same time from left to right. So let's evaluate 3a squared minus b plus c cubed when a equals 1, b equals 4, and c equals 3. So the first thing that we're going to do is write the expression. The second thing we're going to do is substitute or plug in those values that we know. Again, let's be sure that we use parentheses, and this will make our job much easier when we get to more complicated expressions. Then, using the order of operations, we're going to simplify. First, we're going to do those exponents. So 3 times 1 squared is just 1. Let's keep that there. Minus 4 plus 3 cubed. 3 cubed is 27. We would then multiply the 3 and the 1, which is 3, and do our addition and subtraction from left to right. 3 minus 4 plus 27 simplifies to 26. Try this one on your own. Pause the video and hit play when you think you've got the answer. X squared, YZ squared. Now, we don't see any operation signs in between these variables. Remember that in algebra, the implied operation is multiplication. So this is x squared times z squared. And we have x equals to negative 1/2, y equals negative 2, and z equals 1/4. First, we're going to write the expression. Then we're going to substitute in our values. Notice that we have used parentheses around all of the substitutions. Then we'll follow the order of operations to simplify. There's nothing inside the grouping symbols to be simplified. Next is exponents. And we write it as 1/4 over negative 2, 1, or times negative 2 over 1 times 1/16. Using order of operations, then we'll multiply left to right. We can simplify our negative 2 and our 4. They'll simplify to 1 and 2, negative 1 and 2, and then multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom, and we get negative 1 over 32. A formula is an equation that expresses the relationship between related quantities. Remember, an equation has an equal sign, and a formula is an equation that expresses the relationship between related quantities. Like P equals 0.433H, or this equation, which you might be familiar with, F equals 9/5 C plus 32. Do you know what this is the equation for? This is the formula for converting between Celsius and Fahrenheit, or converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's a known equation that expresses a relationship between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Formulas are mathematical sentences that are used extensively in many professions, like science, but in other fields as well. Let's take a look at some math terminology or some math verbs that you need to know. When we see this sign, we can read it as is or equals or equal to. This means is not equal to. The symbol means is approximately equal to. The symbol means is a subset of. So just to remind you, 3 is a subset of natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, and real numbers. Or is an element of. I got that backwards. 3 is an element of. And then natural numbers are a subset of whole numbers. We use subsets to talk about groups and elements to talk about specific pieces, like the number 3. This symbol means it is not an element of. So 3 is not an element of our irrational numbers. This symbol means is greater than, is less than, is greater than or equal to, also read as at least, is less than or equal to, which is also read as is at most. Now let's take a look at some perimeter and area formulas that you'll need to be familiar with and able to use when we evaluate. The area of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That's the perimeter of the rectangle. You might also see it as length times length plus width times width. And remember, perimeter is just the distance around an object. If you're thinking about it in terms of a garden and a fence, the perimeter would be the fence, the distance around. The area, that's the amount of space on the inside, is length times width. For a square, you can use the same formula as a rectangle, since a square is a special type of rectangle, but sometimes you'll also see this. Since a square has 4 equal sides, it's just 4 times the sides for the perimeter, or sides squared for the area. Again, you can use these for a square. A square is just a special type of rectangle. To find the perimeter of a circle, we actually call that the circumference, and their circumference is 2 pi r, where r is a radius and pi is a special value that we know the value of 3.14 ... but there is a pi button on your calculator that you can use. The area of a circle is pi r squared. Again, r is the radius. So in a circle that looks like this, your radius is the distance from the middle of the circle to the outer edge. Let's say that the radius is 2. The circumference would be 4 pi, or 2 times 2 pi. And the area would be pi r squared. Well, r squared is 4, so 4 pi as well. The perimeter of a triangle, you just add up all the sides. So side A plus B plus C. And for the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 base times height. Again, perimeter is the outer edge, while area is how much space is on the inside. Excuse me. Find the perimeter of a rectangle whose length is 8 centimeters and whose width is 3 centimeters. Well, I always recommend before writing any formula that you draw a picture to get a visual representation of what you're doing. We have a rectangle, we have the length is 8, and we have the width is 3. We know a rectangle is the same on opposite sides, so we know we're going to have to add up all the sides. Using the formula, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, we can substitute in our numbers, 2 times 8 plus 2 times 3, and use the order of operations to simplify that down to 22 centimeters. See if you can find the area of a circle with a radius of 9 feet. As a reminder, here's your formula. A equals pi r squared. Pause the video, hit play when you're ready to check your work. All right, we're going to plug in the 9 and square that 9, and we get the area is 81 pi. We can multiply that to get an exact number or a decimal, or we could leave it as 81 pi, depending on what the question is asking us. When we multiply that out to 2 decimal places, we get 254.34 square feet. When using formulas, first, make sure that you write the correct formula. Then, substitute the given values for the variables in the formula Evaluate the expression by following the orders of operation. Today we worked on the following. We evaluated algebraic expressions with given variable values. We did this specifically with formulas, like formulas for perimeter and area. If you have any questions, be sure to ask me next class.